What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Hope you're having a wonderful night. Have some things going on, so might bounce in and out. But here to start for a little Thursday night football action. We have the Saints and the Rams in a game that actually matters. Which a few weeks ago you couldn't have convinced me that that was going to be the case, but here we are. Not only for an NFC South title, which that you might have been able to predict, but also in the NFC wild card, which is one of several absolutely wild, absolutely wild AFC and NFC playoff races. Um, I'll start by saying I got the Rams -4. Uh, I think I think the Saints are trash, so that's one thing. Um, I also think the Rams are good. The struggles that they really had were when Stafford was out with injury. So, yes, I think they're better than their record reflects. And no, I don't believe that your record, you are who your record says you are. They took the number one seed in the AFC right down to it. Overtime punt return is how they lost that one. So, I think the two quarterback thing with Taysom Hill is so strange. I've never liked it. I know that Derek Carr isn't actually one of your best players, but taking your leader and one of your best players off the field for a play is wild to me, voluntarily. The Rams' defense has been impressive, uh, considering it's Aaron Donald and a bunch of guys. Um, Listen, they've done a fairly good job, and I bet you can't name another guy on that defense. Um, which I think is credit to Raheem Morris. Like, I think he's a good coach, but just never had a quarterback in Tampa Bay. But I thought they were. I think he's a good coach. But that's just a gut feeling. I mean, I haven't really studied it or talked to anybody who played for him, so not telling you that I know for sure. It did kind of feel like, though, if Sean McVay decides to hang it up, that he's going to be the guy who gets a spot. But we'll see. I mean, it's a high profile job, the better run of the two LA franchises. I also don't think the Chargers are going to be an LA franchise for very long. Yeah, I mean, so they're talking about Aaron Donald right now, and there's just like your whole offense should be centered around where is 99. Okay, let's figure it out and run the play. Are they going to get a field goal out of it? That sack hurts them. I wonder if they're going to be able to get a field goal here. Please don't punt this. Oh my God. He's punting from the 50. Like, it's at the 39, 38. That's so bad. That's so bad. All right, we're going to take a commercial break to turn off the pre-roll ads. We might not be back for the next play. We'll see how it works out timing-wise, but we might miss a couple plays here. So we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Sorry, I had a little emergency phone call I needed to take there. Rams driving. I can't believe that the Saints punted it from like the 38-yard line. And I will go on and find the surrender score for that, is what they call it. Cowardly punts, I believe, is the Twitter handle that tracks it. And I mean, a punt from the 30. The punter was standing on the 50-yard line. And congratulations, you turned the ball over, and now the Rams have driven that 50 yards, and it didn't matter at all. Nice job. And I've got another emergency phone call, so I'm sorry. I will be right back. All right, everybody. Sorry about that. We're back as the Rams are nearing the goal line here. 3rd and 8 is where I'm at. 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Masterful drive put together by the Rams here. And this is why I said I think that that might be a flag. Yeah. Um, it's going to be holding Dennis Allen. It doesn't matter if it's not catchable. Oh, okay. Well, so that I would argue with. Pass interference is not the call there. That's defensive holding. Interesting. But either way, first and goal from the 5. If you missed earlier, I'm on Rams -4, and I don't even know if I'd take a middle if I can get it here. I do not believe in the Saints. And they are like cockroaches. They keep coming back and being there and being annoying. But I just do not think they are a good team. Conversely, the Rams, I think, are probably a 10 or 11 win team if Stafford is healthy all year. Um, they have looked so much better now that he's been back. And I think it was the Amazon pregame, maybe it was the NFL Network pregame, that showed since he's been back his numbers and where he's at in the league. He's like top 5 in everything. It makes a huge difference to have Stafford back with this team. And with Stafford, I think they're a much better football team. But, I mean, breaking news. Team better with Super Bowl winning quarterback. Got him. Oh, my God. Cooper Kupp does not drop that. You had Kupp here. Fourth and goal, and they're going for it. This is the difference between two coaches. You got zone, so you're going to your bunch, and there you go. Puka Nakua. Touchdown. So you bring that guy in motion to figure out if it's man or zone. Once he gets to the right hand side, nobody goes with him. You know it's a zone concept. And if it's a zone concept, you go to the 3-man side. If it's a man concept, you go to the 1-man side. The 1-man side's probably a hard slant right into the middle there. 3-man side's going to be exactly what it was. You see Nakua just sit down right at the goal line. Top guy drives deep to try to pull that coverage, that zone coverage back. You have Cooper flare out, and it creates this little void, this little opening that Puka Nakua sits right down in, and Stafford just drills him the ball. If it's man, you probably have a backside slant there that you're looking at. Or you're saying if that guy's following Cooper Kupp all the way across the formation, he's going to get caught up in the wash of those other two wide receivers. So you snap it as soon as Kupp sees the other wide receivers move. He starts cutting upfield just a little bit, and the same route he ran on third down, just an out route essentially right along the goal line, and you try to run a man coverage beater that way. Um, so listen, play design's super important in this league, but it's also not difficult. You know what I mean? And that's why I can specifically remember the Russell Wilson throw last year on fourth down in overtime against the Colts. Um, and it was that awful game that nobody wanted to watch. And it was the one where I can't remember who it was, but a wide receiver literally threw his helmet because it was the same thing. On one side, you've got a zone beater concept. On one side, you got a man beater concept. And Russ looked to the zone beater concept side when they were in man coverage. and and though I think it was Holiday, maybe Trendon Holiday, the wide receiver literally threw his helmet because he was the wide open guy in a man scheme, and he had a game winning touchdown. He was wide open. So, I mean, listen, these concepts, they are simple in nature, um, incredibly. It's like kind of like golf, right? Like, can anybody go out there and whack a ball around? Yes, absolutely. Can anybody design, set up, teach, coordinate a situation like that, no, it's very difficult to actually do. So, all right, listen, we got a ton to talk about with the NFL. This game, notwithstanding, I mean, this is huge game in the NFC wildcard race, also in the NFC South. Saints and Bucks both on heaters from 5-7 to 7-7. So we might actually get above 500 division winner there. Which I wouldn't have bet on, to be honest with you. I kind of felt like it was going to be an 8-9 team that was going to end up making it as the NFC South winner. But if we can get a above 500 division champ, that'll make me happy. I will once again renew my argument that the division winners should not be guaranteed home playoff games. That division winners should only be guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. And home playoff games should be handed out by record. Because if you are a division winner of a bad division, that means that you played other bad teams inside the division. So your record should be even better than it was. But here we are. Milkman, what's up, bro? It was Jerry, Judy, Rob Man. No, it wasn't. It was not Judy that threw his helmet. It was like a no-name guy. It wasn't Judy. It was like their fourth or fifth wide receiver. But let's see. Milk, you have not been here in about a week or so. And, some ups and downs with your NFC standings allow you to be in a very comfortable position, if you ask me. In fact, I am of the mindset that your last game against the Rams is not going to matter. But let's see, Rob, how you feel about the Eagles since losing to the Niners? Are they the team they've been for a long time? Like, they can win, but not when it matters, you know. I'm not panicking on the Eagles. I think, and this is why a lot of Super Bowl losers have a real hard time the next year making it back. It is what makes what the Bills did in the early 90s incredibly impressive, even if people want to dog them for it. When the Eagles were 10-1 and leading the NFL and had lost the Super Bowl the year before, I think they just kind of got bored and kind of fell asleep a little bit. I think they got away from what they do best. They need to lean on their defensive line. They need to lean on their offensive line. I think it's the same thing that happened to your Niners, Milk. You did the same thing for a 3-game stretch. You got away from what you did best. You had some stupid plays, some bad penalties, and now you look like the best team in the NFL, don't you? Right? So, and if you want to talk about a team, not winning when it matters, you feel that way about your Niners? Because, I've seen one Super Bowl that has featured them, and every year we talk about them being one of the best teams in the league. So, what are we talking about here? I believe there's a loss to Green Bay in there in the playoffs, a loss to these Rams the year they won the Super Bowl. So what does that mean when you say a team that can win but not when it matters? Because I think that's a fallacy. I don't think that's actually true. I don't think Peyton Manning was ever the quarterback who couldn't win the big one. But you have to listen to people talk about it because people want clicks. I think there are good teams and bad teams. And I do think there are people that fold under pressure. But I think pressure makes a lot of people fold. Right? I think that is a lot of places and everywhere. So, a little commercial break. End of the first quarter. Saints driving. We will take the commercial break with them and pick up this conversation on the other side. We will see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. Welcome back, Milk. Uh, Welcome in everybody who's here. Jump in the chat. Feel free to have a little discussion with us. Get trolled by Milkman. Um, Let us know what your bets are for the game, and we will go through the entire NFL slate, even though we're already into the second quarter. I will go through and pick every game as we go down the list here, because Sunday is going to be Christmas Eve. So instead of doing a stream on Sunday, we will just go through and pick the games here, and then I'll see you guys after the holidays. It's weird, Milk, because after that beatdown of the Cowboys, I would think I'd get at least a week from you where we don't have to listen to your bullshit. But here we are. No, because we actually have an excuse for. I assume you mean for those games that you lost. You seem like the kind of guy who likes to make a lot of excuses, Milk, so go ahead and make your excuses. What's up, Gabs? Welcome in. Bills need to win. Colts are getting the third seed with the Bills winning the division. Interesting. You are live for the division. Sounds like Trevor Lawrence might not play this week. So yeah, absolutely live for the third seed if you're the Colts. I felt like you had a couple tough games in there, Gabs, though. And I think you'll have to win out. I assume in your little thing here, you're betting the Bills are the fourth seed then, which would be a division win for them, and then you slide up in front of them, I assume is what you're thinking. Milkman, I can make a bunch of excuses, but you might not want to hear it, though. I mean, you can make as many excuses as you want. I'll decide if I think they're valid or not, but at the end of the day, you got a loss to Green Bay in there. You got a loss to the Rams in there. You got a loss to the Eagles in there. You got a loss to the Chiefs in there. There's been a whole lot of big games coming through that Niners haven't gotten it done. Now, I love Kyle Shanahan. I think that's a great team. I think they will break through at some point. And if they break through and if they don't break through and win a Super Bowl, it'll be a disappointment. But I don't want to hear about the weather in Green Bay. I don't want to hear about whatever your excuse for the Rams would be. And, I'll even give you a pass on the Eagles game. That's fine. Didn't have a quarterback that could throw a forward pass. I'm not going to blame you for that. But that said, you want to come in here puffing your chest out, talking shit about a team that's on a 3-game losing streak when your team literally had a 3-game losing streak. Dude, you lost. Didn't you lose to them in bad weather in Green Bay? Wasn't that the NFC Championship game like 4 years ago? Yeah, and not the Super Bowl. Like, you want to talk milk, you want to talk shit about the Bills making it to 4 straight Super Bowls. Okay, then who did you lose to? You want to talk shit to the Bills about making it to the 4 straight Super Bowls, and you're pounding your chest over making the NFC Championship game every year. I mean, god damn it, man. Come on. You have to decide what you want to do here. However you want to base this argument, you can, and I will make the one that makes most sense about it. But my point is, if you want to talk shit about the Eagles, one of you has a Super Bowl title in the last decade. One of you has a Super Bowl title in the last decade. Who is it? So what are we doing? Are we talking about NFC championships being the goal? Because Bills have made 2 or AFC championship games in the last few years, and all you want to do is tell me how trash they are. So, you can pick the basis for this argument. Yeah, there you go. Rings don't matter. There you go. So you're coming around. So you do agree that for player evaluation, rings don't matter. Great. Let's see. 2022, you lost to the Eagles. 2021, you lost to the Rams, like I said. 2020, oh, you were just garbage that year. 2019, lost to Kansas City in the Super Bowl, like I said. 2018, you were garbage and didn't make the playoffs. 2017, you were garbage and didn't make the playoffs. 2016, you were garbage and didn't make the playoffs. So, like, is this what you're fighting me about? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I like Kyle Shanahan. 6-3 in the postseason recently. This is what you're fighting me about? You want to talk about, the Eagles can't win the big game when they beat you last year and made it to a Super Bowl, made it further than you did? When in the last decade they have a Super Bowl championship and you don't? And you want to talk about, the Eagles can't win the big game. Such bullshit, man. Come on. Get yourself together. Now, if you really want to just actually have a talk about the teams and if they're good and who's going to win and all that kind of stuff, we can have like a real conversation about it. But if you're just here to talk shit when you got it all twisted up and now you're real quiet because you realize you sound stupid, then we can keep talking shit. I'll keep going with you. What else you got? Yeah, because we're going to win this one. No, so your argument now has flipped to, we're going to win this one, not look at my track record, look at my past history, because you realize that you are the team that can't win the big game if you want to make that narrative argument. It's really honestly the Niners who we need to talk about, who give up a 4th and 20 in the Super Bowl to Patrick Mahomes and lose the Super Bowl. Can't win the big game. So instead of coming in here and trolling, you want to have an actual discussion about who we think is good and who is going to win? Or do you want to keep being Skip Bayless? Which one? Because come on, bro. Come on, man. Oof. Do not get this to 4th and goal again. You got to punch this in. And I might be up by 2 touchdowns with the Rams, and I might still not take a middle here. I do not think the Saints are good, and I have a hard time believing that I want to take a middle on this game. I think it's possible. I think it's possible to get run out of this building. Niners are always good and better. We're number 1. All right, so you don't want to talk about it. You don't have to. Gabs and I will talk about it. We are better than the Eagles like everyone saw. You sound like the Bills right now, bro. Congratulations on your regular season title. Like, what do you want me to tell you? You can hang a banner. Who was that? It was like Nashville, the Nashville hockey team, I think it was, that hung up regular season champs or something like that. Yeah. Well, congratulations on your regular season title. The regular season Super Bowl's on Monday. Regular season Super Bowl on Monday, Ravens, Niners, and I love you guys in that game. I think you're in it for real. Gabs and I, however, are going to talk about the actual Super Bowl and what we think is going to happen in the playoffs and all that. So if you're done, we can just move on to that now. Rams at a field goal. And so let's see what the lines are now. Saints plus 11.5. It's enticing to get double digits. I just really think the Saints are trash. But it's a big deal that the Rams didn't get a touchdown there. It's going to give them a little bit of life. And they've had 2 decent drives, so they might be able to put something together. We'll see. All right, a weird weekend for your games. With the Christmas holiday, you've got games scheduled all over the place. And I'm going to go through and pick, and I might as well bet on each one while we're here. So let me get that set up, and then I can start betting with you. First one is Bengals and Steelers. And I saw Kenny Pickett and Fitzpatrick out for Pittsburgh and Jamar Chase out for Cincinnati. And I still like Cincinnati here. I just don't think that Pittsburgh has the firepower that they're going to need to get this one done. So Bengals minus 2.5 is fine with me. Of course, my thing's not logged in. But Bengals minus 2.5 is fine with me. No Gabs. I do not think Mason Rudolph is their savior. Mason Rudolph season. Okay, Gab's still trying to, or Milkman's still trying to talk shit. Interesting. In fact, the Bills have lost to a team in the playoffs that they shouldn't have. Who did they lose to the playoffs that they shouldn't have? Because they've lost to the Chiefs, and Bengals. So I don't know. I don't know who that would have been. They've made the playoffs every year since then, and they've made. I don't know. I don't know who in that setup you would say that they should have beat, but cheers to you for that. Our teams over the last playoff years have been essentially identical in terms of what they've accomplished. So if you're talking shit about the Bills, you're talking shit about your 49ers too. They were not heavily favored against the Bengals. Not even a little bit. The Bengals were AFC champs, and for the first quarter of that game before Damar Hamlin got hurt, had walked up and down the field on the Bills. They were not heavily favored going into that game. So, don't know what you're talking about. With the Colts, had an actual kicker, they would have won in 2020, by the way. Gaz, did they win? That's my only question for you. The Bills have a habit of making playoff games closer than they need to be. Bills have a habit of making games closer than they need to be. But they beat the Colts that year, beat the Ravens that year, lost in the AFC title game. Beat the Patriots, lost in the divisional to the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Beat the Dolphins, lost to the Bengals in Buffalo. So it was a tough loss. Don't get me wrong. I took all 3 of those very hard for very different reasons. But I'm just saying, Milk, if you want to talk shit about what the Bills have accomplished, it's essentially the same thing that the Niners have accomplished. So, all right. So I got Bengals minus 2.5. Been very impressed with Jake Browning. That bubble is going to pop soon, though. They're going to start getting tape on him, realize what he does and doesn't do well. And the bubble is going to pop on him. I'm just betting that the Steelers have so much trouble scoring that he's not going to have to be great to beat the Steelers and win this game. But, hey, listen, I would love the Steelers to get this one selfishly. So if I'm wrong, that is absolutely fine with me. That'll kick off your Saturday. So Christmas Eve. Your Saturday starts at 2:30 with Bengals and Steelers. And then after that, and I feel like I have to make the point because it's super annoying, only on Peacock, only on the streaming service, Peacock, is Bills Chargers at 6 o'clock on the 23rd. Let's see, Milkman. Nope, because we have a Super Bowl appearance. That was more than 4 years ago. I said over the last 4 years, our teams have accomplished essentially the same thing. last 4 seasons. So 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. But yeah, if you win it this year, then you will have accomplished more than the Bills. But we'll see what happens in the playoffs. My point is, you're not so head and shoulders above everybody else that you have the right to be talking shit about, oh, can the Eagles win when it matters? When they beat you and got to a Super Bowl last year. So. Okay, Bills and Chargers. Shohei Ohtani getting showed a bunch of times. Hey, look, KSE. Shohei Ohtani getting showed a bunch of times on the broadcast with his $700 million contract. Crazy. We didn't have a QB. What you mean? I mean that you lost, and I don't care what your excuses are. That's what I mean. Listen, if you wouldn't have come in so brash, I would have given you that one. But you did. So guess what? All that matters in the record books, 30 years from now, you guys lost in the NFC Championship game. That's all they'll see. And maybe one old fart guy is going to be like, oh, yeah, that was the game that they lost 2 quarterbacks and blah, blah, blah. Maybe. But at the end of the day, that Super Bowl isn't going to be Chiefs versus Eagles asterisk. It's going to be Chiefs versus Eagles. That's it. And it was a great one, too. Shouldn't have ended on that holding call. Chiefs got lucky. All right, Bills-Chargers, our next game to talk about. Bills minus 12.5. As you all know, I've told you several times, I do not bet my Bills. I believe I see them with rose-colored glasses, so I try not to bet them. My betting advice to you would be, as logically as I can put it, I don't pick against 10-point spreads normally. This is one that I would pick against the 10-point spread. There is the fired coach bump. It helps teams all the time. Those teams are normally huge underdogs and normally pull together. I just don't think they will in this situation. This Charger thing is a mess. I think Easton Stick's a big problem. If you had Justin Herbert still, I would be incredibly worried about this game. I'm still nervous about this game as a Bills fan because you've got no room for error. But yeah, I mean, if I was betting this game, I would even think about going against my rule and bet the Bills minus the 12.5. The only other time I did that was Bears Chiefs this year. But for the most part, 99% of the time I take the points, and I don't know that I would here. So that's my thoughts on that game. Those 2 games, huge impact on the AFC wildcard race on Saturday. Before we even kick off Sunday, we're going to have a lot of stuff sorted about that AFC, and teams are going to need to know exactly what they need to do and how much leeway they have going into those games on Sunday, because you've got 3 teams in the AFC wildcard race playing on Saturday, which is an interesting dynamic. It's why all the games the next week are TBD. 2 weeks out, I should say, are TBD, because they don't want teams to know what they need to do before or after, have games not matter, all that kind of stuff. So they try to avoid it, but it's interesting. I hope the Bills lose and get eliminated from the playoffs. That's how you know I got you, Milk. That message right there is proof that I got you. Who's the troll now? That right there is proof that I got you, Milk, because you are taking personal shots. You've got no actual basis for your argument. All you're doing is trying to talk shit. And I've got you. I had you so bad. I got you down so bad that the only thing that you can come up with is hope the Bills lose and get eliminated from the playoffs. Well, I'm glad we put you in your place, Milk. Won't be the last time, I'm sure. All right, Rams with the ball back, and I think them not getting a touchdown on the last drive gave New Orleans just a little bit of life. They go down, put a touchdown on the board here. This game's gonna feel like it's over in the second quarter. Um, and we'll talk about this drive a little bit, and then we'll move on to the Sunday games and start picking those too. Sturls was supposed to join me. He was at urgent care, and I don't think he's going to make it on. Dude is beat right now. Text him right now. Telling him urgent cares are scams and terrible. Don't go to urgent cares. What a throw. I'm getting on a plane tomorrow and headed to Buffalo. So we won't have. I had thought about streaming some of these holiday games, um, but I'm going to take the whole weekend off because I'll be with family that I haven't seen in a couple years from COVID to everything else. So, uh, going to take that next week off, and then I'm back like Wednesday next week. Is there a Thursday night game next week? Let's take a look. I think there is. I think there's one more. But I haven't seen any promo for it yet. Oh, Cooper Kupp hurt? Yeah, and it sucks. Well, who is it? Let's see. Jets in Cleveland. You know what? That's what the NFL gets for scheduling that game on a Thursday night, right? Like even if Aaron Rodgers was there, like that's what you get for scheduling the Jets versus the Browns for the last Thursday night game. That needs to be like a October matchup on Thursday night football. Wow, I thought Stafford was throwing that away. That was crazy. Did not look like an NFL play. He doesn't even push off his back leg. It's all arm. He's lucky that guy didn't get there. Um, Fun one next Saturday though. Detroit at Dallas. That'll be good. Um, but yeah, so I will be back for in a week for next Thursday night football. But I'll be no Sunday pregame show. We're doing that now, and then no Monday night football. Despite the fact that I would love to do a watch along for that game, Niners Ravens should be fun. Um, but we're all just gonna have to watch it from our cozy Christmas houses. Um, Rams not only driving this but eating clock too. I think they started with 7 minutes. You're down to 4.5 already. Sterl's trying to fight through and hop on. I'm telling him not to worry about it. Bro is still at urgent care. It's like, my man, not that big of a deal. Um, so that's why I keep texting. Sorry about that. 3rd and 2 here is a big one. Okay, so now 4 minutes left. You're going to kick a field goal here. It could be 13-10. But McVay is way more aggressive than Dennis Allen. So, um, if you think he doesn't think you're a hater, Milkman, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, he missed it. Oh, my God. All right, so now you're gonna have this. This made the half way longer, right? If the Rams pick up a first down there, they probably bleed the rest of the clock and score with almost no time left, because they kicked it and missed. But even if they had made it, um, they would have been in a situation where, now we're in a situation where Niners are going to try to hurry up, or Niners, Jesus, no, man, you see what you're doing to me? Saints are going to try to hurry up and score. Probably not going to be able to do it. And, oh, look who hopped in the chat. No, he wanted you here, Sterling. He wanted Sterling. You do not need to get on the freaking program, man. It's fine. I like it. It's all good. Now you're in a spot where the Saints are going to try to drive down and score, try to run a 2-minute drill. McVay's probably going to use his timeouts, and then he's going to try to go score again because he's uber aggressive. And so I think that just made this half 20 minutes longer. I hear everything. No, he was actually hoping that you would come on and support the Niners because he tried to talk shit about the Eagles and how they can't win the big one, can't win when it matters, I believe is what he said. And I pointed out that over the last 4 years, the Niners have never won when it mattered. And he got all butthurt about it and tried to argue the point with me, which was a bad idea because it's absolutely true that they haven't won when it mattered. Now, if you want to give me the excuses, you can give me the excuses. But I actually gave him credit for an extra NFC Championship appearance that they didn't have. So I was even being extra nice to him. And so Milkman got put in his place to the point where he was with his tail between his legs, just trying to be like, oh, I hope the Bills lose and get eliminated from the playoffs, was the best response that he could come up with, tail between his legs firmly. So he was hoping you'd come in and support him, and I said, if you don't think Sterling thinks you're a hater, you are sadly mistaken. Oh, yeah, Shanahan blew that Super Bowl versus KC. You had the NFC Championship game against the Rams, the NFC Championship game against the Eagles. And then they missed the playoffs other times, too. So here we are. I told him, you want to talk shit about the Bills all the time, and over the last 4 years, our teams have basically accomplished the same exact thing. So, aren't you? You're either in an urgent care, in which case, all right, if you're just waiting, then it's fine that you're chatting. But then you said I'm going to be home in 10. Are you driving and typing all this shit, Sterls? What are you doing? Thing that scares me about the Niners is that they've been playing their best ball since the bye. Trends say it's more than likely or not someone catches them. Yeah, you stop driving and texting then, asshole. Yeah, they are playing their best ball, and you don't want that. You don't want to come off that wave. Did they start peaking too early, kind of thing? That's the conversation we're having about the Eagles, too. But I asked Milkman if he wants to have a discussion about where the teams are this year and not talk shit about past years when his team hasn't really gotten it done in past years. And he said no. So he's not interested in talking about what's going to happen this year, Sterls. That's not what we're doing. But I'm fine with talking about what can happen this year. We can talk about the Eagles and who they are this year and the Niners and who they are this year. And get rid of the stupid media tropes of they can't win when it matters or can't win the big game. Gabs, did the Bills miss the playoffs in the last 4 years? Excellent question, Gabs. No, they have not. So maybe this year's a fallacy. Maybe they. Oh, he's got him. Touchdown. Unbelievable. Derek Carr's annoying. Plenty of time, though. You might get an extra possession for each team now. Because 2:28 and both teams have 3 timeouts. Plus the 2-minute warning. You got 7 stop. Oh, my God, that's ugly. You got 7 stoppages of play that you could take between now and the half. So what I said before about the Rams may flip the other direction now. And I don't think Dennis Allen's particularly aggressive, but he might take timeouts to try to get the ball back and score again before half. We didn't have a QB, and now we do, so we're going to win it all. It's a lot of football between now and winning it all. Milk. So, better hope you don't lose your quarterback like you did last year. No, Milk. Gabs was asking that question because the Bills haven't missed the playoffs in the last 4 years. So, Gabs, Drew Brees with hair is weird as fuck. Yeah, I mean, hey, I got no qualms against it. You want to feel youthful? You can afford it. You want to get your hair put back in? Do the damn thing. Whatever makes you feel good, you know? No, never. Best O-line in the NFL. Definitely not the best O-line in the NFL. You've got the best left tackle in the NFL. That'll give you. I don't know how many more years he's going to keep that title, but right now you can make the argument still. Definitely not the best O-line in the NFL. Good O-line. Definitely not the best in the NFL. Okay. First Sunday game we have to talk about is Colts and Falcons. Gabs, anything I need to know? Falcons' backs against the wall here. They got to get some wins if they want any chance of winning that NFC South. Already with 8 losses stacked up, they probably have to win out if they're interested in getting there. Colts getting 2.5 points on the road, though, and I see no reason not to take the points here. Taylor and Pittman are probably playing. Yeah, no. I know about the Pittman concussion. That hit was wild. Yeah, I see no reason not to take the points here. Most of the time, these Falcon wins are like crazy 1 point last fourth quarter comeback things, and I think the Colts are going to win outright. So I will take the. We hit the 2-minute warning with the Ram offense on the field. I will take the 2.5 points and the Indianapolis Colts in that one. I think Arthur Smith is just not a good coach. Like Bijan Robinson with 7 carries. What are we doing here? why spend a top 10 pick on him if that's what you're gonna do? Gabs, you are hard on winning the division right now, which is hilarious. Let's see. Atlanta, Vegas, and then who? Houston? Whew. Houston might need that game to make the playoffs. Raiders put up 63 points last week, and Atlanta needs this game. So, I don't know. That is probably not true. Let's see. Odds to make the playoffs. According to the New York Times playoff machine, Bills are at 71%, and the Colts are at 54%. So that's not true, Milkman. The Colts' problem is that there's 3 teams bunched up at 8-6 right there in their division. And I don't think their division record is very good. Let's see. What's your division record, Gabs? Lost to Jacksonville, win against Tennessee, win against Tennessee, lost to Jacksonville, win against Houston. So 3-2. Oh, look, Gabs, 3-2. Yeah, it's not great. It's not going to help you win a division there. You know what I mean? How about I just go to a standings page instead of trying to figure this all out myself? Let's see, Jacksonville 4-1 in the division, so you can't. You could technically catch them. You can go 4-2 in the division, and they can go 4-2 in the division. And then Houston is 2-2 in the division. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. You're probably gonna have to win out to win that division. But New York Times playoff predictor says 54% shot for the Colts. Bills with their big win last week up to 71% to make the playoffs. However, their easiest road to do it is to win the division. Dolphins have not clinched yet, even with 10 wins. So, all right. Third and 5, minute 54 left. And this is kind of what I was talking about with you might get a couple more possessions here for each team. Sack of Stafford. I know you're just trolling, Milkman, but their last 3 games are against a pissed-off Cowboys team, which I hope we made them so angry that they do something this week, against the Ravens and against the Bills. It's a tough go for the Dolphins. Your playoff machine, which is admittedly very slanted. Looks like you have the Ravens as the 1. Broncos, Chiefs. So Broncos get in at 7. Broncos have such an easy schedule on the way out. Patriots, Chargers, Raiders. They could easily win out. Dolphins at Colts. Such a pipe dream. But I got bad news for you. You might be dogs in that game, Gabs. And Browns at Bills. God, it would be just the perfect ending to the Bills season to get ousted by the Browns at home. How annoying would that be? I don't mind we win the division almost after 10 years. It's kind of like if you can get Colts Browns, you got a chance to win. You can get Broncos Colts, you got a chance to win. But Dolphins Colts, you're going to get run out of that building, son. All right, our next game, Sunday morning, Seahawks at Titans. Seahawks -3. I believe Geno Smith is going to play this game. Titans at home +3. They've been game. You just wonder how much juice a game like Monday night gives a team like the Seahawks. And then you get your quarterback back. Derek Carr moving the Saints again. So I'll take the Seahawks there, -3. Feel like something stupid's going to happen. It's going to end up being a 3-point game. You know what I mean? But oh, pick it off. If you hear me rooting, it's because I've got Rams -4, which they are now not covering, with 2 missed opportunities to score more points. Probably left about 7 points on the board right now if you're the Rams. Gabs, I don't know who's playing QB for the Titans. That gave me. I don't know either. I don't think they've announced it. Probably Tannehill is my guess. But so here you go, Rams, and I like I said, each team might get another. Well, guess what? Rams are getting 2. The Rams not picking up that 3rd down right before they missed that kick made this half so much longer. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you. All right, Stafford. Go give me some points before half. Give me a cover before half here. Anybody else got money on the game? Let me know if you bet. Is that Atwell? Robinson. I mean, drive alive. It was 1st down, wasn't it? I love Al Michaels. I liked him a lot when I was a kid. I like him now. I think he's just lost a little bit of his fastball. And for like 10 years now. Nice little move right there. First and 10, you're at the 31 here. Still got 2 timeouts, so I mean, it's all day. But, oof. I had a free parlay in my thing that I ended up not using, but I was gonna put a Higbee touchdown in there. So if he scores, I'm gonna be super upset about it. To the 10. Timeout. 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 All right, so you got 30 seconds. You've got a maximum of 8 shots to the end zone. You can pick up a first down at like the 1-yard line. You got 1 timeout left, so most everything has to go into the end zone. But you got to get 7 here. With all the points that you've left on the board already, you got to get 7 here. All right. Lions and Vikings next. Lions, I mean, absolutely felt like they got right. And I am just not about the Nick Mullins experiment. Not here for it. So I'm betting Lions on this, and I'll lay the points. Laying 3, no big deal to me. Vikings, I think, got a lot of wind taken out of their sails. Wow, they run the ball. So you burn your last time out. 25 seconds. but now you're out of timeouts. So everything's got to be a pass, and picking up a first down almost out of the question now. Everything's got to be in the end zone. Second and 3, so you got, I would say 3 shots at the end zone, but maybe just 2. But call your favorite play. You know what I mean? Oh, what a throw. What a throw. Stafford running around. He knows it. He knows it. What a throw from Matt. Oof. Show the back view of that. Show the back view. Give me them back shots. This Rams team is so much better than their record. Here you go. So I think he looks off Tyrann Mathieu here. And Mathieu kind of moves over with Cup. Yeah, he definitely looks him off. And then what a throw. So this is okay, great. So you remember when I was talking about on their first touchdown that you have a zone beater on one side and a man beater on the other, and that the man beater on the other side was likely a hard slant. It's not quite a hard slant; it's a little bit softer. But you bump over Cooper Cup, cornerback goes with him, safety bumps over. You know you've got man coverage, so you try to look off Tyrann Mathieu, and whoever the linebacker is. So you're looking to your right to hold him, to hold him, to hold him. Come back to your left, hit the slant route, which is your man beater on the backside. And like I said, it's like golf, right? Like understanding the concepts is very simple. To create them, put them in, all that kind of stuff, much harder to do. I'm not saying this is easy stuff, but that's the stuff that gets frustrating when you watch offenses and they can't execute simple stuff like that. People talk about, oh, McVay's a genius, blah, 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 all this stuff. Yeah, he is, but that's super simple, right? Like your high school team could be running that. It's just a very easy concept to run, and they ran 3 different plays with the same motion with similar route schemes, and they scored 2 touchdowns on the 3. And the other one was a drop by Cup that could have been a touchdown. Very simple concepts, very simple schemes. All right, Lions Vikings was the last one we talked about. We'll save the rest of them for the other side. We, of course, have the rest of the Sunday games and 3 Monday games. They take over Christmas Day, the NFL does as well. I'm sure the NBA is thrilled about that. Saints taking a knee. All right. Well, first half that I think the score should be even more than it is. Really think it should be like 24-7, but Rams left some points out there and still up by 10 going into half. Let's take a look at that halftime line before we sign off here. 10.5. You can get, it just bumped up. 11.5. Saints plus 11.5 is minus 110. And I told you, I'm not even necessarily, I always look for middles. I'm not even necessarily looking for a middle on this game. I have no faith in the Saints whatsoever. But, I mean, if the number gets ridiculous, maybe we'll bet it in the second half. So, speaking of which, it's your chance to grab some food, grab a snack, grab a drink, go to the bathroom. We will see you back here for the second half. Maybe Sterls will be on. I kind of hope not because the poor guy is coming back from urgent care, and I don't know that he needs to be on. But we might have Sterls in the second half. We'll see. But either way, come back for the second half, and we will see you after. All right, everybody, welcome back for the second half. I don't know how many of you are still hanging, but Sterl's insistent on getting on today, even though he's dog ass sick. So here we go. Gonna bring him in. Here we go. Sterls, let's get you on here. Give it a second. Let it populate. There you go. Sterls for the girls. Looking like he ain't for nobody right now. Bro, you even sound terrible. You all right, man? Somebody didn't get their flu shot. Did you? I'm not a. I shouldn't throw stones. I'm not a flu shot guy. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Listen, they're not. My whole show has been saying, "Oh, there's a deep shot for you." Oh, did he catch that? Oh man. Um. Oh, he's saying he caught it. Yeah, the ref is saying he caught it, and that it came back. That it came out afterwards. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad call, to be honest with you. Yeah, like my whole point in my breakdowns today has been what they're doing is not complicated, and it's not. So I'm not like a genius for figuring it out. You know what I mean? But yeah, but you know what it is. You know what it is. It's Matt Stafford realizing what they're doing and then just doing whatever he needs to do to beat it. You know what I mean? Um, so I don't particularly think that coaching staff is very good, but the Saints coaching staff that is. But there's plenty of talent on that defense. Like they should be doing better. But all right, so two quick things. One, happy holidays, my man. Merry Christmas. I won't see you till after the holidays, but maybe we can on that New Year's Eve do a stream. I'm not no. That's racist. That's so racist. And yeah, dude, I told you I was probably gonna stream those games. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Um, and then maybe we do this Sunday morning, but we'll see. So that's one thing. Two, any games that stick out to you this week that you absolutely are like, I've got to get on and make a pick for that game? I love this game. I hate this game. Or do you just want to pick the big one of the week, which is the Monday Nighter? Hufanga can do it too. Yeah, you could even drop Hufanga down as a safety and spy with him if you wanted to. So they've got a lot of options for shutting that down. The question is, can Steve Wilkes draw it up well enough that uh, that you keep Lamar contained? Um, which he struggled. I mean, the Bills have done that to him when they've beaten him every time. So I feel like he does struggle with that a little bit, but we'll see. He didn't have the wide receiver weapons that he has now. So even though he's missing Mark Andrews, the wide receivers he have are much better than years past when he had this problem, and I think the scheme's better too. So Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Ravens are plus 5.5. So if you believe in Lamar, then you got to be taking that 5.5, don't you? Yeah, I was actually when I don't know if you were in when I was talking all that shit to Milkman who was being annoying, but every team goes through a lull, and you don't want to be peaking too early, is what I said, and you could have that with the Niners with still 3 games left to play. Yeah. Or or they're just that good. You know what I mean? Which is possible, but we'll see. All right, man. Well, thanks for jumping in. Like I said, you didn't need to do it, but feel free to talk shit in the chat. I think I don't think everyone's back from halftime yet, so if you're in there, it's just gonna be me and you talking back and forth, and you can talk shit about your cornbread or whatever the hell makes it so I can't say no to coming down there. Invite me down for some fried chicken. Get mad when I say no. All right. No, no. What? No, no. You're the one who said that I can't turn down an invite from a black person. I'd like. Yeah, I call you Sterls for the girls. All right, we're out of here. Thank you, Sterls. Appreciate you, brother. All right, peace. All right, let's get back to our. Thank you to Sterls for jumping on. I always laugh too much when he's here. I don't do enough actual analysis, which he is an incredible analyst. Sterls is a fantastic analyst. Um, and I just don't do enough analysis when he's here because we're just laughing the whole time. So, sometimes it is what it do. Again, real simple concepts, real simple schemes for the Rams here. But Stafford, like we talked about, is doing exactly what he needs to do to dissect this defense. I told you I wouldn't take 10 points for the 11 points even for the Saints. Here we are. Rams about to go up 24-7. All right, here we go. 2nd and 4 on the 5-yard line. And I really don't love that play. If your running back isn't comfortable taking a handoff, maybe I consider it. But that turnaround and pitch to run it up the middle, I just don't love it. I really don't. Okay, Higby bumping, so you got zone. Slipped out of his hand. 4th and 2, and you feel like you got to take that field goal here. So if they score, you're up by 6. But I mean, I might go for it here. Is he trying to hold this back? Yeah, it looked like it just slipped out of his hand. I don't even know who's kicking for the Rams now, but most missed field goals in the NFL, which is crazy. Haversick. So I would argue that they've left 11 points out there now. I mean, kind of brutal, but is what it is. All right, let's get back to picking games for this weekend now. All right, let's see who we got here. It is Commanders Jets is the next one. This game don't matter all that much. Um, Sam Howell, last I checked, still towards the top of the NFL in quarterback stats, and he is going to get replaced next year. Um, Jets also activated Aaron Rodgers off the 21-day list to not play, which I find very strange. You wonder if he's going to Willis read it on Thursday night or something just to be like, oh, look at me, I'm here, I made it back. But he said he wasn't going to play because they're not in contention. But here we are. Commanders getting 3 points, headed to New York to face the Jets. That defense got embarrassed last week. You wonder if they're 1-2-3 Cancun here. This game and a lot of the games that we're going to talk about here through the last few weeks of the season are very simply who's still motivated to play. And the Jets got wiped. The floor. The Miami Dolphins absolutely smoked them last week. They wiped the floor with them. So I'm going to bet that they have a bounce back effort and want to embarrass Sam Howell and the Commanders. And I bet they don't give up too many points here. So I'll take the Jets and I'll lay the 3 at home. No real impact on the playoffs. Jets, I don't think, are officially eliminated, but if they're not, they will be this week. Packers, Panthers. Man, the Packers fall from grace. Everybody said they're in. Look at the rest of their schedule, the playoffs, blah, 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 all this. And look what's happened. I'm going to take the Panthers in this game. That's what freaking happened. Panthers coming off a win, getting 4.5 at home. I think if the Packers win this, it's not more than a field goal game. And I just feel like the Panthers haven't been playing for anything for a while. And the Packers are the team that just lost a couple games, and now all of a sudden this game is meaningless. And so I think that affects them more than it affects Carolina. So I will take Carolina and the points in that game. And I think those are the only 2 games of the weekend that are really without playoff implications. I think every other game has a team somehow, some way in the playoff race, even if it's only a little bit. So I think those are the 2 real duds of the weekend. But I'd rather have the teams that don't matter playing each other and the teams that do matter playing each other than everybody spread out. So let's get Al back on here. I still don't get taking your quarterback out. Third and 6, and I really believe if you think the Saints have any chance of winning this game, they got to pick this up and they got to score on this drive, even if it's only 3. 20-10 is a totally different game than 20-7, and Derek Carr felt the pressure of that, burning a timeout. All right, 3rd and 6. Like I said, big one here. Talking about the changes to this Rams defense, I think it's a great point. Made it earlier. Bunch of guys that you probably couldn't name. And Aaron Donald. Big pickup. Big pickup if you believe the Saints can win this one. Mm. Small window. Nice throw. A little bit behind him, but just having the guts to make that throw. What's up, Gregor? You can talk about whatever you'd like, my man. I'm talking mostly NFL because I'm going through and picking all the games for the weekend. But yeah, if you got college questions, I'm all about it. All right, so oof. 3rd and 6, and like I said, I really think you got to score on this drive if you're the Saints. I just feel like there's just not enough Kamara in this offense. And I don't get me wrong, I think the Rams defense is good, but that looked like a false start, and he still got beat. Intercepted. Down to the 40-yard line. What a pick. And that might put a wrap on this game in early in the 3rd quarter. Broncos question from Gregor. How bad are they imploding college? What's the line for Georgia versus FSU? That's a great question. Let's find that out. I would bet it's around 20. Let's see. Only a 12-point favorite. I'm shocked by that. That's got to have gone up. That article must be old. 12 points? That's it? I'd bet Georgia right now if it was 12 points. Let's see. 14. Florida State plus 14, and I honestly don't even think that's enough. Georgia is going to, even with the loss of motivation, so on and so forth, I think they are going to, no pun intended, dog walk FSU. Um, I think they're going to be pissed they didn't make the playoffs. I think they've got plenty of talent. Even if guys sit out, they got plenty of talent to fill back in. And I think that Georgia team's going to be pissed that they are out of the playoff. So I probably lay the 2 touchdowns there, but I'd probably stay away from it. A lot of people are skipping for FSU too. Yeah, I mean, I imagine both those teams going to have a lot of guys sitting that one out. But I just think FSU doesn't have necessarily the depth of talent the same way that Georgia does. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm not as. I know they've had good recruiting classes, but it's like Georgia is a machine. And so even if a bunch of guys sit out, you're gonna have a bunch of 5 stars taking their spot. You know what I mean? And I just think they're going to be pissed they didn't make the playoff. So, for your NFL question, Gregor, and by the way, welcome, mental health guy. For your NFL question, Gregor, how bad are the Broncos imploding? I don't think they're imploding. I really don't. I know people made a big deal about Peyton yelling at Russ. Man, coaches do that all the time. Coaches yell and scream at players and coaches all the time. So I'm not worried about that at all. It was a bad loss to the Lions, but not a game I think they were expecting to win. I think they knew their last 3 games were as easy as they are. We're talking about Patriots at home, Chargers at home, at the Raiders to finish. And I just think, I think they could have afforded to let one go. And they knew it, and it looked like they knew it on Saturday. So I don't think the Broncos are imploding. I think they get a win against the Patriots this week, and, we go from there. Touchdown. What a run. Is he giving the ball to Moms? Yeah, he is. Score a touchdown and flip it to Mom? Come on, what a story. And the smoke show is on 27, well, soon to be 27-7. I told you I didn't even like 11 for the middle. So I'm not sure that I'd take a middle now, but let's take a look and see what it is anyway. You see, even Al says it's a movie. Spread is locked right now for some reason, but the locked spread is 19.5, and I still wouldn't take it. Still wouldn't take it. Um, Saints aren't good. The Saints aren't good. I don't know who I have to yell that to, but all right. Browns Texans. Next game we have to pick here. Browns 9-5, Texans 8-6. I haven't seen CJ Stroud news. I'm assuming he is gonna clear protocol and play, but let's see if I can find some info. I honestly think Jordan Travis should have gotten more Heisman consideration. His loss was catastrophic. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Um, I bet if he's healthy and finishes the year, he gets like 4th or 5th place in the Heisman voting. Um, Probably not good enough to get a trip to New York, but he would have gotten some votes. Um, but yeah, no doubt. 100% right. But I also don't blame the committee for holding it against them. Like, I'm sorry, they're not the same team. So that's tough for sure. All right, let's see what kind of news we can find on CJ Stroud here. He should be playing. Ooh, CJ Stroud not practicing from an hour ago. Will Anderson and CJ Stroud remain out of Texans practice. It'll likely be Keenum and Flacco. God, that's crazy. All right, well, so Browns -3 in Houston. I'd kind of like the Browns to run away with that wild card, but man. The audio from Mom. They had Mom mic'd up. Um, That's cool though that he scored in the end zone by his mom, knew where she was. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go get you a football. Okay, I don't know if that's a sister or a girlfriend that's been hogging that ball, wife maybe, but like the ball was for mama. Like, what you doing? Spread down to 16 and a half. I wonder if that means that this is a big play here. Sure is. Olave down the field. Saints plus 16 and a half, and I wouldn't even get close to it. I got to be honest with you. All right, back to Browns and Texans. God, I want to take the home dogs so bad here. Keenum and 3 points. I don't believe in the Browns, but I'd really like the Browns to win this game. I know Gabs would too. Probably took off because he's in Brazil and it gets late there early. Um, God, I'm so torn about this Browns Texans game. Derek Carr looking for another deep shot. Won't get it, but does get the first down. All right, I'm going to say the Browns pull it out. Browns -3, even money on the road. Um, I think that's a 3 point game, and there's my gut is telling me that the Texans pull it out, but my head is telling me the Browns. So I'll take the Browns to get a win there, and if the Browns win that game, I'm pretty sure they are in a playoff spot. They are locked in then. What they need is a loss from the Ravens on Monday night, and they'll have a look at the division too. All right. Jags Bucks after that. Big game for both of them. Bucks at home -3. Jags 8-6, but with CJ Beathard starting, and their season has unraveled here. 3 losses in a row, I believe, and they're in danger of missing the playoffs altogether, not just not winning their division. What a disaster that has turned into. Did he catch it or not? Sure didn't. 4th and 7. Is he going to get there? Nope. That should pretty much do it. I told you the Saints are trash. What other rooftop do you want me to yell it from? All right. Jags and Bucks in what looks like C.J. Beathard versus Baker Mayfield. And C.J. Beathard came in that Monday night game, led the 2-minute drive to tie the game, send it into overtime. God, I just don't think he's got it in him. I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to take Bucks -3 at home. Baker Mayfield's been hot. Plenty of talent still on that roster. They just have to overcome freaking Todd Bowles, which I know is a lot to ask, but here we are. We're asking it. What are we doing here? Clearly, Gregor. I saw the score at halftime was like 28-0 or something like that. Um, I haven't obviously been watching it. I don't even have it on the second screen right now. But fired their coach, hired a new guy. I'm sure there's plenty of kids not playing, transferring to other schools, so on and so forth. So, okay, let's see. Homie freaked out here, so let's check and see if my bet went in. Bucks -3. It did not. So let's drop in a Bucks -3. All right. Cardinals Bears, and you might say, "Oh, I thought you said that was the only games that didn't have playoff race impact." But what about this Cardinals Bears game? Actually, still has playoff game impact. Bears can still make it, which is crazy. Bears -4, 5-9, lost last week in a shocker. The Hail Mary was in one of their players' hands. They had a 10-point lead. I mean, it's just all the stuff. Cardinals getting 4. I don't think that's enough. I'll take Bears -4 in this one. They'll probably find a way to mess it up, but I think Bears win, go to 6-9, and are still in it for the playoffs. Bears are not locked at 1-5 in the draft because the Panthers have been winning. Panthers can win their way out of the number 1 overall pick. It can still be the Patriots or the Cardinals that get it. Panthers at 2-12, Cardinals and Patriots both 3-11. Outside chance for the Commanders at 4-10. Bears tied with 3 other teams at 5-9, and have a couple winnable games left, including this one against Arizona. So they could play their way down to like the 10th or 12th pick. They will definitely not be top. Well, I guess they could be 5th. I was going to say they're not going to be top 5, but they could be 5th. Carolina with a couple winnable games left too. So yeah, there's no guarantee that it's number 1 overall for them, but it would be a lot more fun if it was. Patriots and Cardinals both probably, if they get the number 1 overall pick, both probably sit there and draft a quarterback. And so if you're the Bears and you have the 3rd pick instead of the 1st pick, you all of a sudden watch Caleb Williams disappear, Drake May disappear, to the Cardinals and Patriots. And then you're sitting there like, well, I guess we're keeping Justin Fields. All that talk about if it mattered or not, if you wanted to keep Fields, all that stuff, doesn't matter anymore. Let's pick a guy at 3 and pick a guy at 10 or 5 or wherever that their actual pick lands. But still some really interesting where we are in the draft moments coming up um, as we get down the stretch of the season here. So. Why does my hat look weird? Guess it's all right. Rams just pounding the ball now, which will take us to the end of the quarter. A couple more games to talk about, and then the playoffs as a whole, of course, as we get through your pregame show. But we will run some ads here to make sure we don't have pre-roll on. So I did not lose a bet to wear this hat, Gregor. Go Bills. We will be back right at the start of the fourth quarter. All right, everybody, welcome back. Because I had to answer that ridiculous question about my hat, I missed the beginning of the fourth quarter. Just kidding. Um, little 3rd and 1 play action, 3rd and inches really, play action. And they pick it up to Puka Nakua. Nice little play call, nice little lazy throw. Well done. So Saints have 2 more games against the NFC South. That's crazy. Rams can make it, man. Rams can make it because this. I don't think the Niners are going to need that game. I really don't. It's possible, but I don't think the Niners are going to need that game. That's clearly pass interference. See, I don't agree with that, Gregor. I don't. I hate that. Oh yeah, because it's within a yard of the line of scrimmage. I forgot about that. That's a smart play by Tyrann Mathieu there. Um, yeah, Gregor. I don't even love the last game of the year being in division, but it's the way to get the most impactful matchups. But you always have dogs in there. You know what I mean? It's very rare you get a lot of good teams in one division where you get great matchups the last week. All right, next one is Cowboys and Dolphins. Cowboys getting a point on the road. I'll just take that money line. I think the Cowboys got embarrassed last week, and I think that it's going to be Redemption City. Now, does that mean that they, get right back to form? I'm not 100% sure. Oh, man. The point is basically free. A minus 115. Money line is minus 110. I'll just take money line. Um, I just think they'll have a bounce back effort. Doesn't mean they get back to where they have been or where they were, um, but I think they're a better team than the Dolphins. I really do. Their defense is going to struggle a little bit, but the Dolphins are not good at what the Cowboys struggle with, and that is physicality and running the ball. And so, yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to want to make a point here, and I think they're going to go to Miami and do it. Good game. Both teams 10-4. Afternoon window, and I think one of only a couple games in the afternoon window. Three games in the afternoon window. Jags, Bucks, Cardinals, Bears, Cowboys, Dolphins. Dolphins have the Cowboys and then the Ravens, and then they finish against the Bills. To your point, Gregor, in division game at the end is gonna likely mean something for at least one of the teams, if not both, with likely a division title on the line. Um, for that to happen, Bills have to win out. Dolphins have to lose either to the Cowboys or the Ravens, which is very possible. So we'll see. That could be a big game for Bills, Dolphins, the final week of the season. Um, but Dolphins could win these two and make it not important. So Bills would probably need that to get in the playoffs then, because they're probably, if they don't win the division, Bills probably have to have 11 wins to get into the wild card, because their AFC record is so bad. So they probably need 11 there. All right, Patriots Broncos. Next one after that, and that's your Sunday night football game on NFL Network this week. Patriots getting a touchdown in Denver, and man, touchdown is a lot, but I'm gonna take the Broncos. Um, yeah, I'm gonna take the Broncos. That defense for the Broncos is good. The offense for the Patriots is real bad. Um, defense for the Patriots been beat up all year. I think the Broncos can score just enough, and I think Mile High, the Broncos haven't played a whole home game in like a month, and over that month they've gotten back into the playoff race, and so I think Mile High is just going to be absolutely absurd on Sunday night. I really do. Christmas Eve night, everyone's going to be jacked up. I mean, I really think Mile High is going to be crazy. So I'll lay the 7 points and take the Broncos. It's not because I think the Broncos are an excellent team or anything like that. It's just situational. I think that they can beat the Patriots, and I think it's probably by more than a touchdown. Six nine Broncos win. It could be. And last year, absolutely. Last year was a 6-9 Broncos win, no doubt, Gregor. No, I think Russell hit a couple deep shots. I think they'll run the ball. If I had to pick a score, it's like 17-3 would probably be my guess, something like that. It's going to be a stupid game. Yeah, they're doing a little recap of Stafford and his night here, and been good play calling, good decision making. I mean, just real solid all the way around. Like I said, I think this Rams team's better than their record. They really struggled when Stafford was out, but still 12 minutes left in this game. Got to watch 12 more minutes of Derek Carr. Woof. I pray on everything holy that the Sunday night game at the end of the year is not Saints, Bucks or whatever, Saints Falcons or whoever. You know what I mean? Oh God. Just two bad teams, and like which bad team can win and make it into the playoffs? We've had that for so many years, and I just don't need to watch two NFC South teams. This can be the last of the NFC South that I watch until the playoffs. Hey, look, you have a playmaker named Kamara. Saints driving, and they've had a couple drives today, but just not a lot of points. Their only points came on a deep shot. All right, next game for us to talk about is Raiders at the Chiefs. Raiders getting 10 points. And if you watch the pregame show, you know my rule. Don't bet against 10-point spreads. This Raiders team is motivated and still technically in it for the playoff race. I don't think they'll be able to get there, but still technically in it. Um, this Raiders team is motivated. I think they like Antonio Pierce, and I think they want him to get the job, and you do that by winning for him. Um, Now, do I think they're a 63 point a game juggernaut? No, but I think they've got enough superstars to kind of buoy uh, resurgence a little bit here. Um, Chiefs 9-5 didn't look impressive against New England last week. Haven't looked impressive all year long. Little bit of infighting going on. I don't think it's a big deal. It's the stuff that happens in a locker room, especially when you have not maybe the greatest, not as good of a team as you were expected to have. How do I want to say it? You're not playing up to expectations, I guess is what I want to say. Um, so I like the 10 points here a lot, and I think if the Chargers or if the Chiefs are going to fall um, one more time this season in a game that they need, it's going to be this one. Because I think they beat the Bengals knowing that it's an important game, and I don't think the Chargers are any kind of matchup for them. So I kind of am looking at this one as this is the one. If you're going to get the Chiefs one more loss, this is the one. Which selfishly, I would love to get the Chiefs one more loss, but I want Patrick Mahomes playing on the road. And yet, the year they look the most human, no team is taking advantage of it. Maybe the Ravens, but Burrow out, Bengals are average. Bills choking all over the place, giving away games. Should have run away with the number 1 seed. I mean, if you watch the games that they lost, you were like, how did you lose that football game? Everybody watched the Broncos Monday Nighter. That was one of them. I mean, all their games that they lost felt like that. I'm trying to think them getting beat soundly. Philly game. I mean, with 62-yarder or something like that in the rain at the gun to tie it up. I mean, all their losses this year have just been stupid. Jets game, punt return in overtime that you shouldn't have been in the first place. So the Bills, should have been the team to jump up and take advantage of Kansas City looking human this year, and instead the Chiefs still have a great shot to get the 1 seed. So I'm hoping that the Raiders jump up and bite them here, but we'll see. I will take the 10 points, that's for sure. Car scrambling out. Not great, Derek. Not great. That is a standalone game on Christmas Day morning, by the way. Um, so we all get to sit and watch Raiders Chiefs. So maybe that gives them a little extra juice. Who knows? You're in, primetime games. They talk about nighttime games and blah blah blah. It's a primetime game. It's a holiday. You're alone in the time slot. Um, to me, that's a primetime game, especially on a holiday like that. If it was just a random Monday, that'd be one thing. But our middle game on Christmas Day, Giants and Eagles. Giants getting 13 and a half. Vegas thinks Eagles are going to come back with a vengeance here, and so do I. But, oh God, I want to break my rule for this so bad. Don't bet against 10-plus point spreads. So, Colts play the Falcons, and in Atlanta, Colts plus 2.5. And I know the Falcons need that game, but I like the Colts plus 2.5. If the Falcons win that game, touchdown Saints. I feel like it's going to be a stupid comeback field goal at the end of the game kind of thing for the Falcons. It's the only way they win. They don't bury teams, so I like the Colts in that one, and I love them with 2.5 points. Okay, so Giants getting 13 and a half. I'm going to take it. Why are you mean this way? My app's being weird. I'm going to take the 13 and a half. This is one I want to break my rule on. I do think the Eagles are going to come back with a vengeance. I think they're pissed off. I think they're going to get back to what they do well. I think they got 3 games here that they know if they win the division. And it's huge. So winning the division is so big, and we'll talk about it a little bit, but in terms of where you're seated in the playoffs, not only the 2 and the 5, but, there's more to it than that. And I think that very talented Eagles team is going to be pissed. So, all right, and then the big one of the weekend, Monday night, 6:15, Ravens, Niners. Ravens getting 5.5 points. I don't even I don't even think that's enough. Now, listen, the Ravens can match the physicality of the Niners, which is something that the Niners haven't had to deal with a lot. But the Ravens can match the physicality of the Niners. I just I don't think they can score with them. Um, Defensively, I think they're pretty even. Um, oh man, that's tough. Because any game, Lamar Jackson can jump up and have a big game and really take over a game. But I just think the Niners have too much firepower, and I think they're going to want to flex their muscle a little bit here. Um, a loss is huge. You're talking about the bye week or not the bye week. You're also talking about like probably a week off for your starters in week 17. If you, I think they got the Cardinals after this, and then the Rams. Who do the Niners have next week? The Niners had like another winnable game next week. Um, Washington at Washington. So they could win that and clinch that 1 seed. But um, because they've got wins over the Cowboys and the Eagles, so they have the tiebreaker. So if they stay a game ahead, they win this Ravens game and win next week, they can rest everybody. Week 17, if they want, against the Rams, they can rest everybody. So it's arguable if you want to do that, knowing that you have the bye. It's 2 weeks off for your guys, and you worry, do you not come out? Do you come out a little slow out of the gate if you do that? 6:31 left, and you got to think. I mean, it's only 16 points, right? Like if it was the Bills, if it was the Chiefs, if it was the I don't know anybody who scores a lot, you'd be like, it's 16 points, 6 minutes, you got a chance. This one feels like, God, can we start taking these yet? Because the Rams just feel like they have dominated, and it just feels like no way um, the Saints can score 16 points in 6 minutes. But technically, it's still a game. Rams got up there to run a play, and they stopped him. And because they had seen the formation, McVay puts him back in the huddle, calls a different play. Interesting. McVay even saying, "Don't fall asleep, boys. 16 points. Let's go score again," which I don't hate. Defensive holding too. So we were talking about the Eagles and why I think it's so important that they get right here. Um, they have 2 games left against the Giants, and so they are 3-1 in the division. Cowboys are 4-1 in the division. Um, I believe the third tiebreaker is conference record. Both teams have 3 losses in the conference. So, but I've been told if they both win out that the Eagles win the division. I guess it would probably be the third tiebreaker. which is maybe strength of schedule or strength of victory. I'm going to guess it's probably strength of schedule. Be interesting when you get down to those fourth and fifth tiebreakers. Oh, and a face mask. So, it's not just about your seeding, getting the whole playoff game, winning the division, all that. It's also about how long can you avoid playing the Niners, especially in San Francisco. And so if you're the 2 seed, that means that you don't have to play until the championship game no matter what. But if you drop to that 5 seed, not only do you have to go on the road the first week, but the second week you're probably on the road against San Francisco. I mean, you would need one of the other lower seeds to win, which, Rams have an outside shot if they're the ones that are in there. Seattle has an outside shot. I think the Vikings probably get mopped up. But so, then, second weekend, you're in San Francisco if you're the Eagles or the Cowboys and you drop to that 5 seed. And so I just think it's all about how long you can avoid playing the Niners. And then you take your shot when you have to take your shot. They'll tell you it doesn't matter. You're going to have to beat them at some point, blah, 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 all that stuff. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think it does matter that it's an NFC title game. I think it does matter that you've been at home for a couple weeks before that, not on the road the week before that. I think all that stuff does play into it. So. But I will renew my argument for those of you who haven't heard it yet that division winners should not get home playoff games. You win a division, it should just get you in. That's it. Guarantees you a playoff spot. And then you seed them based on record after that. Because if you are in a terrible division and you win it, NFC South, and you win it, you played games against other terrible teams. Like, you're doubling down. You're getting the advantage of not only playing terrible teams to win the division, but then you get a home playoff game. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's super dumb. And I, for one, am shocked that no team has proposed that yet. Because it should be top 4 seeds, San Francisco, Dallas, Detroit, Philadelphia right now. It should be. There's no reason to not have it like that. Yeah. Super frustrating. Also, if the Browns at 9-5 were on top of the Jaguars, you'd be fighting for a home playoff game there. Probably get more interesting games at the end of the season if the blocked punt. If you probably have more ball games that matter if the seeding can change because you don't have as many people locked into spots. If you make it so seeding is done by record rather than just giving the 4 division winners home games, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you have a chance to hit the line and make a playoff team here. Home playoff game here. Don't tell me Cleveland wouldn't play harder trying to keep that home playoff game. Absolutely, they would. And who cares if 2 AFC North teams have home playoff games? That division's good, so good for you. I don't get that. If the Bills and Dolphins both finish with 11 wins and host playoff games, okay, great. Who doesn't want to see good teams at home playing ball? I don't know. Drives me a little bit nuts. As far as the wild card goes in the NFC, I think you figure out a lot with this game today, including that the Rams are the team that's probably going to get in here. Vikings falling off. I felt like their soul got snatched a little bit last week. It'll be interesting to see if they can rally and come back. I just don't believe in Nick Mullins that much. I really don't. I would go back to Josh Dobbs. And I understand he struggled and blah blah blah, but he offers something to that offense that Nick Mullins doesn't, which is his legs, and you can at least argue that that'll be something. You know what I mean? Seattle. You wonder if the win over the Eagles gives them some sort of juice here to finish out the season. They have a very tough schedule. I did not think they were going to make it, but you wonder. They get their starting quarterback back. Big win against the Eagles at home on Monday Night Football. Does that charge them into a playoff spot a little bit? I think there is one there for the taking, like I said, with the Vikings. Saints going to fall to 7-8. Falcons are 6-8. Packers are 6-8. Giants and Bears both 5-9. And I think all of them are kind of out of it. I think Tampa ends up winning the NFC South, and I think it's between Minnesota, Los Angeles, and Seattle for those final two spots. Nice play defensively, 97. Who is that? Little screen pass. Defensive end reads it and gets his butt out there. Nice job. Oh, shut up. I should have taken the Saints plus 19 and a half or whatever it was. I should have taken my medal. I did not because I didn't think they'd do this. So if you're the Rams, you look at your offense and you're like, listen, go put a drive together and score. Yeah, PI on both sides, but not anything I want called. One score game. One. How do the Saints do this every freaking week, dude? 353, and if you're the Rams, you got to run your actual offense here. Don't no 4 minute drive. You got to run your actual offense here. Unbelievable. I should have taken the middle. Should have taken the middle. Gonna get punished for it. They're gonna score a touchdown, miss the 2 point conversion, and not cover. That's how this game is gonna end. Because the football gods like to punish me for not doing what I always do, not following my rule. You had enough time to kick it deep, I think, but they got the bounce. They got the bounce that made it tough on Nakua. They just couldn't get there on time. One thing I do like about that, if even if the Rams score here, there's only so much time that they can take because they only have to go half the field. Um, but if you're the Rams, just run your offense. What do you guys think of Dennis Allen as a coach? How does a sports book get good, earn trust? I've got a casino coming in near me next year. I really think it's about customer service, and then you can shop around with lines, right? Like there are sites that you can go to that just have all the sports book lines listed. And if you find that the lines are constantly different than other sports book, chances are they're trying to get you a little bit. Um, but most of the time they're not. Most of the time, you know. And then some books will do things where like if there's a huge injury or something like that, they'll refund all the bets, or if there's a missed play call, they'll refund all the bets, or you know what I mean. And I think that's cool when sports books do that. What I'd say is if you have a casino coming there, just find out who the ownership group is. Um, you know, BetMGM owns casinos all over the country. Not all of them are the MGM Grand. They own the four biggest casinos in Vegas, casino hotels in Vegas. So there's a bunch of different groups that invest in casinos like that, and just make sure it's one of the reputable ones. You know what I mean? A lot of sports books. Um, when sports betting became legal, but only state by state, a lot of sports books popped up, and they were just random, and they were trying to get you to join, and a whole bunch of them folded. You want to know the ones that didn't? Big ones: BetMGM, DraftKings, FanDuel. You know what I mean? So I would just say find out who the ownership group is, and that's kind of how you can check. All right, so AFC playoffs now. Bet Rivers is one of the bigger ones. I haven't used their app, but it is. Bet Rivers does have a bunch of different casinos around the country. Um, but yeah, I mean, you could check reviews and stuff like that. But Bet Rivers is one of the bigger ones. All right, Baltimore 11-3, but their remaining schedule is brutal. It is absolutely tough. Um, San Francisco 49ers, Miami Dolphins, Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, an outside chance that the Steelers are still in it and need that game. Um, so Ravens 11-3 right now, but could end up with 6 losses. You know what I mean? I don't think they will, but could end up with 6 losses. Dolphins, same thing, brutal schedule, including the Ravens. So one of these two teams who are on top of the conference right now will take a loss because they play each other, or I guess you could have a tie. But Dolphins finish Cowboys, Ravens, Bills, and I am more confident that the Ravens pull one of those out than the Dolphins. But you're looking at the Chiefs at 9-5 and saying these other two teams that are above them have brutal schedules down the stretch. You could easily see the Chiefs jumping up and getting that 1 seed, and it was shown on Sunday Night Football this week. Their odds guy was like, if the Ravens lose this game, the Chiefs actually become the favorite to get the 1 seed. Chiefs finish Vegas, Cincy, and then the Chargers, and probably win all three. Cincy might bite them, Vegas might bite them, but probably win all three. just a wild finish to this NFL season, man. All right, 2 minutes left. Saints without any timeouts. Now you can think about just running clock if you're the Rams. I probably don't want to just hand the ball off, but so they're gonna run the ball, wait 40 seconds, run the ball, wait 40 seconds. I think they should probably try a pass here, but I don't know. We'll see. I think you should try to pick up the first down personally. Oh, they got him. It's not a first down. It's 3rd and 6. But now you can run the ball on 3rd down. That is nice. Yeah, they called it on the Saints. You get an extra 25 seconds off the clock too, I believe. But now you can run. So it is 3rd and 1. But now you can run the ball. So that's the top of the AFC. Chiefs, I think, might end up with that 1 seed, which will be really annoying at 12-5. But we'll see what happens. I'd love for the Raiders to jump up and bite them. Bengals can beat them too. Chargers probably not, but Jacksonville falling apart. 3 losses in a row. You're gonna let it run down and take a timeout here. Yeah, so that penalty gives them an extra play clock worth of time, which is brutal for the Saints. CJ Beathard starting for Jacksonville, likely in their game this week, and I think they're in all kinds of trouble. Both the Colts and the Texans nipping at their heels. All 3 tied at 8-6. Jacksonville with the tiebreakers right now, but I don't think they get out of it unless Trevor Lawrence plays. I really don't. But no C.J. Stroud for the Houston Texans, and so much to Gabs's excitement. Colts look good there, man. Colts look good. Colts have some winnable games left and might end up winning the division, which would just be wild. Considering their last year, how they started this year, losing their quarterback, all that. It would be just wild for the Colts to pull it out. But Shane Steichen, an excellent coaching job. Ooh, he just got it. Just got it late enough that he doesn't have to worry about a 4th down snap. Ooh. All right, so -4 cashes. The rest of the AFC here, the wild card race, absolutely crazy. Cleveland can keep itself above the fray, and you kind of want them to if you're any of these other teams, unless you're playing them, because they play a couple teams in it, and you'd love somebody to start taking a couple losses here. Bengals, Colts, Texans, Bills, all 8-6. A lot of backup quarterbacks there. I've liked the way Jake Browning has played, like the way Garner Minshew has played, and so it's not strange at all that those are the 2 in the driver's seat for these playoff spots. Texans at 8-6 have Keenum starting. You went to that well once. I don't know if you can go to it twice and expect to get wins both times. Almost lost it last week. And then the Bills, they just got to keep winning, man. They got 2 winnable games, Chargers and Patriots, and then Miami at the end of the year. And I think it's all going to come down to that last game of the year, as long as the Bills can take care of business. 7-7 Steelers, I think, are out of it, but maybe they jump up and get a win. 7-7 Broncos have a very easy schedule down the stretch. They have to win out, but I think that they can do it. And so that's how we're shaping up right now. As for me, I am going to Buffalo, so I'll be on vacation for the rest of the weekend. So no more streams this week. And then we will be back for Thursday Night Football next week, most likely. Browns, Jets, not exactly the most fun, but let's talk some playoff scenarios. You know what I mean? So we will see you all for that. Hope you have a wonderful night. Hope you have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a ton of fun. So love you guys. Gregor, thanks for hanging out, and we will catch you on the other side of the holiday. Happy holidays, folks.